This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
We turn now to the day's other news, and an investigation into the leaking of confidential information from the Public Accounts Committee could begin in the coming weeks. Peter Gutwein has been summoned to release certain documents, but he's tight-lipped over whether he will dish the detail. But it's giving the opposition more firepower when questioning if the Treasurer has something to hide.
It's a dispute getting messier by the minute. Peter Gutwein is under severe pressure to release the Treasury advice he received before the Tamar Valley Power Station was put on the market. But the Treasurer says it's the Public Accounts Committee which has a case to answer.
That committee is now tainted. The process is tainted. It's leaking like a sieve.
And now the committee itself acknowledges its reputation is a little tainted, handing State Parliament the option to investigate how the media heard about Mr Gutwein's summons order before Mr Gutwein had heard about it himself.
It is disturbing.
Clearly there's something to hide here.
If Parliament gives a thumbs up, the powerful Privileges Committee will look into it. But Labor says these documents had been requested long before the summons was issued, strengthening speculation the government is stalling.
This appears to be the third leak that's happened from within that committee.
Members of Parliament act with integrity. The PAC has been pursuing this matter for some time. What's it going to take for the Minister to release this information?
A power play Peter Gutwein would rather focus on is this $2 million solar plant in Kings Meadows. Once up and running, it'll produce energy for the next 35 years, leaving the environment untainted.
And over the life of that, it will offset 20,000 tonnes of CO2. So that's a very significant number.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Southern Cross News can tonight reveal plans to construct 35 kilometres of new mountain bike trails at Derby in the state's northeast. The Dorset Council wants construction to begin as soon as August, but says it needs the support of the state government.
It's no secret Blue Derby is on the cusp of becoming one of the world's premier mountain bike destinations. And now there's new plans to make sure that happens.
We've got a few gaps in our product offering, and those are the gaps we need to fill before we can realise the true potential of Derby.
Dorset Council wants this old tin mine to be the heart of its 35 kilometres of new trails. A proposed novice track will loop around the dam, while intermediate trails will be constructed throughout the town.
If you ask a lot of people who have ridden here before and enjoyed it, they don't actually know that there's a big old lake behind the river there. So it's exciting terrain to build in and something that's going to be perfect for that family, the beginner style trail.
A suspension bridge is also planned to be built from Derby's main street across to the mine, linking the trail network together. To help fund the expansion, the council is selling off several of its own assets. This old depot is one of the properties the council will soon put up for auction. It's said to be prime commercial land, as it's right in the centre of the bustling town. And the council has an idea what it wants it to be.
I think it'll be a mix of commercial accommodation and maybe some shops, maybe a restaurant, could be a chemist.
Other council-owned parcels of land will go on the market next month. It's hoped the trail expansion can start in August, off the back of next month's Enduro World Series being held in the town. But the council says it can't do it alone.
We think the council can fund approximately half of that $1.5 million through proceeds from asset sales in Derby, but we're going to need a financial contribution from the state government.
We'll continue to look for ways that we can be supportive of that opportunity, as well as other mountain biking opportunities right around the state.
Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
The Premier says Jackie Petrusma is up to the job as Human Services Minister, despite damning claims of abuse against a disabled Tasmanian in care. It's alleged the man was excessively restrained when he was locked in a courtyard during winter and had furniture put on top of him. But the opposition says this case should have been looked into 3 years ago.
The allegations weren't raised until 2014, so when he was in care, under which government is irrelevant. What is relevant here is the process that's been followed by the Minister, and the way that it's been handled.
My understanding is that the individual concerned is receiving support through the NDIS.
Now, Madam Speaker,
Minister Petrusma is lodging a formal complaint with the ABC's 7:30 report, claiming the story was misreported. Tasmania's premium wine industry has been drawn into the Taswater ownership debate. The owner of Pembroke Vineyard says water infrastructure desperately needs upgrading due to the presence of sewerage and salt in waterways.
So you can't risk putting it on vineyards, you can't risk putting it, and you can't risk putting it on even your paddocks, because the high levels of salt will do damage to your soils.
The state government says the current system is failing producers because of a high incidence of sewage spills. This year's Give Me 5 for Kids House project was launched today, with Premier Will Hodgman turning the first sod, along with Hobart's Triple M.
It's overwhelming, it's inspiring, it's the sort of thing that makes you proud to be Tasmanian. This is now a staple in the calendar for great Tasmanian events.
Building by Andrew Linden will continue for the next few months, with the house being auctioned off later this year. Money raised will go to the children's ward at the Royal Hobart Hospital. After 2 shows in Hobart, Tasdance is bringing its performance Fragile Matter to Launceston. Dancers taking to the Princess Theatre stage this afternoon, practising the works before it opens to the public tomorrow.
The audiences are in for a pretty wild ride. The show is 45 minutes and it's kind of pretty non-stop from start to finish.
It's a dance piece with a story through it, and so the dancers, as well as being performers in a dance sense, also need to take on roles.
Fragile Matter is choreographed by 2 Greek dancers and inspired by Charlie Chaplin's film The Great Dictator. Performances will run at 1 p.m. and 7:30 tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has posted a small gain as investors recuperated some of the losses from an overdone sell-off on Wednesday. The ASX 200 index has risen by 23.5 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 76.66 US cents and just over 71 euro cents.
Welcome back. Glenorchy is the reigning premier, but according to the bookies, North Launceston is the team to beat for this year's State League Premiership. Tonight, we take a look at Clarence as part of our season preview, as well as last year's grand finalists.
The reigning premiers have been ahead of the curve in recent years, and Aaron Cornelius says imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
From whispers that you hear about the place, a lot of teams have tried to implement a few things that we have over the last couple of years, so it's exciting times.
The Pies know they're the hunted in 2017. That's why they've added former player and Hawthorn midfielder Zach Webster to the mix to offset some heavy losses. One player who remains is the competition's best in Jay Bowden. Cornelius praising his loyalty to the black and white.
He lives and breathes black and white, and we just love having him here, and hopefully some people start to see that, you can go and get money, but put yourself on the line and try at the top level for as long as you can.
Playing coach Tom Couch has slotted in well at North Launceston. He replaces Zane Littlejohn at the helm and says he's here to stay.
Obviously, really a lot of success in the last few years, and I'm keen to hang around and experience something similar. Yeah.
Former Brisbane Lion Bart McCulloch joins Couch at the Bombers. They fell just short of a historic three-peat last year, but have been installed as early flag favourites. A round 1 trip to Lauderdale next Saturday looms. Clarence have missed finals the past 2 seasons, but in contrast to last year, will go into the season with a relatively clean bill of health. Jackson O'Brien is the biggest in for the club, who will also gain Michael Fisher and Zach Mastrocola, while Jeremy Webberley returns from a broken leg. Centre-half back Harry Bailey out for the year, though, with a knee injury.
So we'll have to come up with something different there and replace him. But other than that, we've got a full list.
A rejuvenated Sam Siggins is poised for a new role too, having played in the ruck during the club's practice matches.
He played on the weekend a bit, and hopefully he's like having another on-baller, so hopefully he'll play through there a bit.
The Roos start their season with a bye before meeting Tigers in round 2. Chris Rowbottom, Southern Cross News.
An all-Aussie boxing blockbuster between Hobart local Luke Jackson and Joel Brunker now looks unlikely to happen. Brunker's camp thumbing his nose at the Tasmanian, saying Jackson isn't yet proven in the pros.
Luke Jackson wants to bring the biggest fights he can to Tasmania, so he wants the public to know that if a long-touted bout with Joel Brunker doesn't happen, it's Brunker's choosing, not his.
I'm world ranked with WBO, I got the Oriental title and I'm undefeated, so I think my record speaks for itself.
But Brunker told local media in New South Wales that he didn't need a fight with Jackson and that he'd prefer to look to the world stage for his next opponent.
I want him to know that I want to fight the best. And that's why people keep asking why the Brunker fight happening. Well, there's your answer.
Jackson's camp will need a fight before any world title tilt against Oscar Valdez. When that happens, though, it's likely to take place in the United States.
That's a big money fight for me, and I deserve that, and my team deserves it. I want my team to get paid as well.
Basketball and the Hobart Chargers have welcomed their newest member. It's not an import, it's Rex the Rhino, a handmade mascot all the way from Melbourne.
And I know he's going to be a massive hit on Saturday night if he can behave himself.
The Chargers square off with the Thunder at the Deck on Saturday night. The women's team meets the Launceston Tornadoes, but Bartlett says they'll be without US import Cassie Cook.
The second import won't be, my understanding, won't be available for Saturday night's game, but will be here with us for the second game.
And in netball, round 2 of the State League underway this weekend. Corona Flames play Burnie, but it's reigning premiers Arrows that Alicia Sargent has her sights set on.
I think Arrows need to watch out this year because we're going to come and get them.
While Kingston Blues are hoping to continue a winning start when they meet newcomers OHA.
We're expecting just a physical contest and really just to go out there and play our game.
Chris Rowbottom, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian Jessica Wushner has been selected in the first ever AFL Women's All-Australian squad of 40. Wushner's impressive season helping her Brisbane Lions to the inaugural grand final to be played on Saturday on the Gold Coast. The game has another Tasmanian connection. Local goal umpire Bryce Guy will be waving the flags.
Umpire a game in the women's, let alone the grand final, is something special, and I'll remember it forever. So looking forward to it.
State umpiring coach Mike Brown says the Women's League has provided another valuable pathway for Tasmanian umps.
He does in those women's games, certainly puts him highly on the AFL radar, and I'm sure will assist him greatly in the future.
Burnie's Britt Gibson will also represent the Lions in the first ever women's grand final.
Good evening. Hobart 17 degrees, Launceston and Cape Sorel the high today with 22, Burnie 20 and Devonport 21. The showers cleared most areas today, but a few continued over the northwest, east and southeast. Low Head and the Islands 21 degrees, Wynyard Friendly Beaches, Ooze and Strawn 20, St Helens, Grove and Campania 18 degrees, Lyawini 15 today. A surface trough connects a low off the Pilbara coast to another off the south coast of Western Australia. That's getting a lot of cloud there over the interior of WA and the Bight. That heavy rain-bearing cloud continues off the east coast of New South Wales and Queensland. Cloudy over most of Tasmania today. It's slowly cleared from the west. Tomorrow the high slowly moves over Tasmania. Several troughs and lows sit over the mainland and the western Bight. Southeast and northeasterly winds at 5 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots over the north early, winds tending east northeasterly in the afternoon. Hobart tomorrow, what have we got? North Hobart versus South Hobart, Sandy Bay in the cricket over the next few days, 19 degrees, 19 for Huonville, Campania 21 degrees. The mighty South Launceston versus Westbury in the Cricket North Grand Final, partly cloudy conditions to kick that one off, 23 degrees. Devonport versus Burnie in their big match off, some early drizzle, a top of 20 and 21 for Georgetown and partly cloudy. Of course the Cricket Northwest is at Burnie, that's early drizzle there as well, and 20 degrees, 21 the top for Strawn, and Wynyard, early drizzle, a top of 20 degrees. St Helens tomorrow, partly cloudy, 18. 18 also for Swansea and Port Arthur. UV has settled down to 6. Showers on Saturday, more likely over the north and west, but fine elsewhere. Fine on Sunday, apart from possible morning showers over the north and southwest, returning to the north later in the day. Showers developing across the state on Monday. A little cloud over Perth and Adelaide tomorrow. Sunny in Melbourne, hopefully the rain clearing from Sydney, a top of 23 degrees. Still showery for Brisbane and a storm at some stage for Darwin.
And that's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Good night.